There's the gate off 321 for the Sciences Tunis Creek. It's actually Old Lindsey Creek. The road comes down and goes to Lindsey Cemetery. But as I was walking down the hill, I heard something run through the woods up here, and I just barely saw the back of it. It's either a very large deer, or I just saw an elk over here on this side of the mountain. And thick vegetation here, a little bit of swampy area. The park has actually mowed the road for family reunions this time of year, so it's not too bad of a walk. Late summer, this grass can be as tall as I am. My great uncle Dilly used to live on the other side of the highway here. They tore down his old shack a couple years ago, and the old red barn had a tree fall across it and tore it up about 10 years ago. He was janitor at Pittman Center for over 50 years and was raised up in these mountains. He made it just 101 years old. It looks like right here, just off the road, is could be where deer's climbing the hill. Almost looks like a hog print. I've ran into big hogs in here before. Just a short distance up the road where they've mowed. And the hill to the left here is actually a shortcut through the gap up and over to Soap Creek and go over to the old Green Cemetery. It's a pretty old walk through here, especially in the fall. About a quarter mile into the walk, you finally come up along the edge of Lindsey Creek, the old Lindsey Creek, and it actually forks right here. And the right fork goes up a holler. And old home place used to be a barn stand up there, but it's gone now, except for a couple small pieces that just look like logs laying on the ground. And this is the old lands of William and Jessie Lindsey, Sherrod Lindsey, and why they call it LindseyTown. I remember one time I came up through here and got right about here. Late summer, all the weeds here are very tall. And out here I had to stop. I looked over here. Must have been 200 wild hogs. Most of them just young'uns. And I finally, some big females were up here on the bank and spooked them. And they all went running off like a herd of horses. Never heard such a racket in all your life. And they scattered. They usually would take off. They got an escape route. Can't see very well, but they heard me and spooked them off. But that was kind of an interesting moment. Now this time of year, like I said, it's a very swampy area, so it's got to be real careful crossing it. In the old days, there actually was a little bit of a trail road that came up through there. There's a home place right there in that corner. And there's a little 10-foot cascade up on really big waters, but there's rhoda bushes growing over it. And there's a road to the right. It goes over to Copeland toward the Rector Cemetery. And just go to Hog to dead ends, and you're at the last home place up that way. I've been a few times late summer, not too often, but there is a lot of, everything blooms out, there's a lot of butterflies in here. And we continue on up the road. Look further up the road, you can see all the walnut trees. It's like a grove of walnut trees. Another sign of old homesteads is walnut trees. eat walnuts to stain clothes and feed their animals and feed themselves. About a half mile into the walk, you come to a flat spot here. It's actually an old homestead. There's a spring house down here in the weeds, and right about here you got about 100-yard climb up on top of the ridge here before it goes down the other side. So this is a beautiful walk in the fall. A lot of hardwood trees through here. So this crests the top of the hill here on the road. Wintertime, LindseyTown, you got a great view of the Greenbrier Pinnacle Range and looking up Soak Creek up toward the mountain on Gold Mine Ridge and some others. Here the trail goes downhill for about 100 yards. There's not a lot of Mount Laurel rhododendrons area. There's a few patches here and there. For the most part, this is old farmland, so most of it's open hardwoods, so it's easy walking in wintertime. And you finally come to a clearing, and to the right down here is where the old road used to come up the hill, and it looped around and goes down this manway trail, which goes down to the old Settlers Trail. That's easy walking, that's clear. The old road is here. It's not. It's a rhodo thicket that you don't want to cross through, but the old road used to loop up and around and parked with this other road because they didn't want to have to repair the road across the swamp if 2 or 3 times, then it gets flooded out. But if you walk on across the field, now it's mowed down, pretty nice. This is mostly a wintertime hike, but in late May, early June, when they mow it down for decoration weekend, you can walk in here very easily. We've come probably a mile and a half from the road. It's one of my favorite cemeteries. You can see why. It's all moss covered, and especially early spring when it first rains, it gets a real bright green and mix of broken stones and newer stones. So this is the Lindsey Cemetery. And when the leaves are down, you can see the Greenbrier Pinnacle right up there. Still try to see if we can see it. I remember a couple years ago when this grave sunk in, there was actually like bowling ball holes in the ground all the way down to what was once the casket, and they finally came up here and filled dirty in and put a new stone on it. So there's James Ball and Jesse Husky and got Isaac Trotter Husky buried right there. There's some old ormbies down through here. Now in the old days, when this hillside was cleaned off, these trees weren't in the way, this hillside had a great view of the mountains, a great view of the valley below. That was the old Evans community, and also the old Soak Ash community, Soak Creek community that was up the mountain a little ways. Got Dr. Wright here, who was a doctor, dentist during the Civil War, and when he came back to the mountains, as far as I know, he didn't practice medicine anymore. Quite old by that time. And so, Lindsey Cemetery. Huskies and Lindseys dominate the cemetery, but there's other names here too. And down at the lower end here, you got steps that come up from the road that used to loop through. Like I said, the old road down there is just too ugly. Even the bushwhack, I did it once just to check it out. But so probably about 70 or so graves here. I've got them all listed in my cemetery book. And I tell other stories about LindseyTown and whatnot in my other books. I like to visit 2 or 3 times a year. It's really pretty in the snow too, because you can see all the way to the Cont. So It's on top of the hill that's overlooking LindseyTown. And here's James Ball, a Civil War soldier. He'd be about 90 years old. Balls live way up on that mountain up in there. Charlie Ball's chimney's still standing way up Timothy Creek. Now you can barely see the pinnacle right there. Cat stairs. We're on the cat stairs side. So just another early morning walk here. Pay our respects to families who once lived here, in this part of the mountains.